Okay, so this video is on red flags of a narcissist number 7, which is fragmented relationships. So basically, fragmented relationships. Narcissists, because they are pathological liars, they also tend to be pathological cheaters and stealers or thieves. They, people, once they catch on to this, once they're around it long enough, they tend to cut them out of their life. So this is probably best seen with their people that should be close to them. So parents, siblings, their own children, possibly even their ex-spouse. These people tend to want to have very little to do with them. There's generally at least one person that's close to a narcissist, that should be close to a narcissist, that the narcissist is no longer, well, they're claiming that they're no longer talking to him, but really that other person is no longer talking to them. If you were to listen to the narcissist tell their side of the story, the narcissist will tell you that they are no longer talking to this other person. So that this other person, like red flag, red flag number 6, the unusual amount of crazy people in their past, that this person that they have no communication with, is the narcissist is no longer communicating with them because that person is some form of crazy or bipolar or addict or alcoholic or, a liar, or they're somehow, abusive in some way, shape, or form, or they're a bad parent. So, normal, decent people, we tend to take things at face value because why wouldn't we? But if you're with a person and you're noticing that, they're not talking to certain people, that there's these fragmented relationships in their life, it's worth doing more research and more homework, especially if you're seeing other red flags that are there. So, for example, I keep using the same guy that I went out with a couple times before I felt that there were enough red flags to call it off. He had told me that his ex-girlfriend was, this crazy bipolar, alcoholic, bad parent, abusive person, and no longer talked to her. Well, he also didn't talk to his sister, and possibly, and he said he had a very tense relationship with his brother. Both of his parents had passed away, so that was, you couldn't use that for a basis for anything, but he really didn't talk to his siblings. And he even mentioned at one point his sister, who was also a mental health nurse like I am, had told him that she felt he was a narcissist. And, at the time I wasn't, I didn't have this website about narcissism. I wasn't so public about my interest in narcissists, and I wasn't so passionate about doing this educational outreach that I'm doing now. So he didn't realize that was a huge trigger for me or a huge red flag. But the fact that his sister had said that and she no longer talked to him, I found very, very interesting and a huge red flag. Had she maybe lived closer, had I not seen so many red flags and wanted to continue maybe dating him, I probably would have wanted to talk to her and just kind of in a roundabout kind of way, kind of gather more information to see what it was the real story. I've seen this with a couple different narcissists. I had a friend of mine, her ex-husband was a narcissist. He did not, he claimed that his mother was a narcissist and incredibly abusive, played favorites, was awful to him and was wonderful to his other siblings, which, that may or may not be true. It's not unusual for, a narcissist parent to necessarily have a narcissist child. It's kind of like this behavior. It's one of those nature versus nurture things. The reality is it's probably a little bit of both, but, or it can be a little bit of both. So I'm not sure if that was the reality with his mother. I do know that he had a sibling that he said was an alcoholic and was bipolar and that he didn't talk to. And come to find out that was not the truth. The truth was the sibling was actually incredibly balanced and not an alcoholic, and had cut him out of her life a long time ago because he was so destructive. And that's really what it is. These family members, especially, they get tired of being lied to. They get tired of the drama and the chaos, and they can only justify so much for so long before they realize there's something really off about this person. And they're not going to change. In fact, if they're family members, they've been around this person their whole life, and they've probably seen their behavior get progressively worse with time and with age, and they know exactly how destructive they are. So they're tired of being used, and that's why they leave. So that's a red flag to watch out for. Fragmented relationships. And next red flag, number 8, is poor financial management. So stay tuned to the next video. I'll cover that. As usual, any questions, comments, concerns, frustrations, ideas for videos, you just want to say hi, whatever, go ahead and message me. You can message me on YouTube. You can message me through my website, narcissistsupport.com. You can message me through my support, wait, did I say that? My website? Or you can message me through my support group on Facebook, which is also called Narcissist Support. I'll put a link down here below. Take care and stay tuned for the next video. Thanks.